What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host, your Fareed. Today, I'm sitting down with Max and Ben to talk about BananaClip Studios, a gaming platform building here leveraging Cardano. Without any further ado, welcome aboard, Max and Ben. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Not a problem. It's my pleasure to be hosting you guys. You guys have just come on my radar, right? So we're going to be talking about BananaClip Studios, your potential first releases, an upcoming token sale, and just what the future holds for the year of 2024. Maybe just to kind of get us rolling. Do you guys mind kind of introducing yourselves, what you guys doing, how you guys came into the Cardano ecosystem?
Definitely. Yeah. So my name is Max. I go by Crush on the Discord, and I'm on Twitter at my name is Crush. Um, I have been into UX, UI design for a long time. I went to school for engineering and economics. I've worked with multiple different projects in Cardano and other crypto spaces in the past. I've worked with Marty, Duck Pools, and I've done some web design and stuff. I've probably built 30 plus websites, 10 to 15 different applications, front end stuff. And yeah, I pretty much got introduced to Cardano when I was 18, 19 or so back in the day, years ago. And what really got me into crypto was seeing how much better the user interface and user experience was than traditional finance. It's really incredible what people do in crypto and DeFi, even though it's still a small space globally. It's incredible, and it's definitely the future. So I instantly was like, this is the way to go with value management, and I've been here ever since, and just getting deeper into it. And yeah, and we've had some ideas, and now we're doing our own thing, which we're really excited about.
Yep. My name is Ben, and I have a similar background to Max. I started building software in high school, and then in college, Max we've known each other forever, since like fifth grade. But Max introduced me to blockchain, and then like I've kind of been on the sideline, just like watching. And I know it's the future, so I'm excited to contribute to that future. In the past, I've worked on some Web 2 projects, just like user interface and project management, and so I want to take those skills, bring them to Web 3, and really help building this incredible ecosystem.
Thank you both for the introduction. Sounds like you guys have been around this space for at least quite a bit. I know it's a very innovative space, and there's a lot of different ways to contribute. I am obviously contributing from a content creator's perspective, but to be able to hear and to see people that are contributing, from an actual development perspective, I'm sure it's different, but I'm sure it's also just as rewarding, right? There's, again, a lot of opportunity there. And so I really want to just kind of dive into BananaClip Studios, what that is for anybody who's hearing about it for the first time. Do you guys maybe, mind just giving us the elevator pitch as to what you guys are building, and maybe just explaining why you guys have picked this particular niche?
Yeah, definitely. Good question. So we originally saw some gaps with Web3 gaming. It's really complicated. The actual user base is pretty small, and a lot of the Web3 gaming companies are trying to compete with AAA titles in the Web2 world, which is multi hundreds of millions of dollars in development costs and marketing and such. So it's definitely an uphill battle for them. And we kind of got inspiration a few years ago while we were talking with Terry from Blue Gravity Studios, who we're working with. They're actually the creators of Axie Infinity and a few other classic Web2 games like RuneScape. And we realized that casual gaming, even though it seems trivial, there's about 2 billion players in casual games. It's approximately 25% of the population of the world right now is familiar with casual games. And the mechanics of them are extremely simple, and they're pretty primed for a global economic integration that blockchain provides. So what we're doing is making something similar to a mini clip, an addicting games with games like Bloons Tower Defense, Agario, classics that hundreds of millions of people have played. And we're adding a fun, seamless economy that's usable not just by Web3 people, but by Web2 people alike. So the whole point is that we retain the simplicity, the mechanical simplicity within the games, the addictive joy that they provide. And we're adding a super easy to use economy that everybody can understand, all gamers can understand. And blockchain crypto just happens to be the backend that can fully allow that to happen. And we landed on BananaClip, the idea, and we've been trying to show the vision since, and we're happy to be here to do that.
Yeah, really interesting approach. Again, I think what you guys are doing is different than the sort of AAA approach that everybody else has taken, right? You see Star Atlas, Cornucopias, Pavia, very hyper realistic, one gigantic connected metaverse or one connected game, where you guys are going with a somewhat different approach, right? I recall back in the day where I used to drive to the library and I had a library card and I could literally only log in for like an hour or two, right? And that's where I would go in to play my games. And I was on MiniClip, I was playing RuneScape, I was on addicting games. And a lot of the games weren't necessarily games that you had to sit there and, build an account or, go in and restore your saved sessions. You could literally just jump in there and begin a fresh game. And it was like very, very quick sort of a loop. Right. So it's different to see this particular approach as to building out like this whole immersive or this whole expansive sort of universe. So I'm really behind the idea. One other thing I really like about this particular approach is the lower barrier to entry. Right. You're not spending years building one particular game to release to the community that they then have quirks or suggestions that you have to implement. You're able to really quickly iterate, onboard a lot of very lightweight and very quick games. So to that end, before we dive into the Cardano side of the equation, do you guys mind maybe just quickly highlighting what sort of games will be available on the platform when it initially launches? And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the roadmap as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we are taking two approaches to the games. The grand vision for BananaClip is to be a Web3 enabled hub for both indie and large development studios to bring their classic browser games to Web3 with a reliable, simple, integrated economy. So these are some of the six of the games we're gonna start out with. We're working with Blue Gravity on remakes and adaptations of classics. Of course, like Tower Defense. Algario is a really fun example because that's a player versus all wagering that's going to be going on. That's going to be super fun. It's going to add to the already addicting and crazy excitement of that game. But eventually down the road, and we're already in talks with a few studios, but we're definitely looking forward to the future. We're going to set it up so that indie developers and, of course, large studios alike can bring all of the classics that people are familiar with. And that's kind of the magic there. They're proven games, proven formulas, unlike a lot of the Web3 projects that are going on. And no hate to them. There's a lot of beautiful creators out there. But these are proven games with hundreds of millions of players already. There's no theory. It's nothing like that. So yeah, that's the angle we're taking, and we're super excited about it.
Thank you. Let's dive into Cardano now, right? So obviously you guys are building an ecosystem. You guys have been contributors for quite a bit. Do you guys mind breaking down for somebody who's not so technical, where does Cardano fall into the equation with BananaClip Studios or with the actual games? And then we're going to dive into the roadmap and what we can expect for the future.
Definitely. So should I get into kind of the utility of the token and how that ties in with Cardano? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that does. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. So in terms of utility, it's going to be, we're doing not a play to earn thing, which a lot of Web3 people are doing. A lot of Web3 gaming projects are doing. Our idea and our perspective is that Web3 should add an interoperable functional input sort of economy to games, not a play to earn function. So we have this thing called the perpetual gaming economy, where the tokenomics are based on players wagering against each other, transacting resources, betting on anything you can imagine, obviously in a very simple way. We have gamified staking. We're going to support indie developers with IGOs, which we'll have more information on in the future. But it's very cyclical. So it's not about earning while you're playing. It's about interacting with games and other players. And Cardano is a perfect place for that, because obviously there's reliability, and of course there's a long-term vision there, with Cardano being a true next generation value system for humanity. And what that allows us to do is to create a truly interoperable global economy that's permissionless, that anybody can get involved in. And the amazing part about that is when you actually are using value on the BananaClip platform, when you're wagering in games, when you're trading resources, you can now take that value and enter the incredible world of DeFi or whatever you want to do, because obviously Cardano is an open permissionless network. It allows us to connect to everybody in the world who has a computer and an internet connection, and get involved. And you couldn't do that without blockchain technology, without Cardano.
Now, you guys mentioned yesterday when we were speaking, collaborating with other projects as well. Do you mind maybe sort of highlighting, how you guys see incorporating other protocols, their tokens, et cetera, into the BananaClip ecosystem?
Yeah, Ben, you can take that.
Yeah. So one of the unique aspects of the platform is enabling projects within the ecosystem to add their tokens within the games. So it's almost like a token distribution method, gamified token distribution. So like, let's say you're like Snack or something, and Snack wants to put some tokens, distribute it to more people from outside of their traditional demographic. These players can go through the games, collect these tokens from these other projects, and before you know it, they'll have them in their wallets. And then those projects, these people will be like, oh, what is this token in my wallet? And they'll be exposed to that project. So it's a win-win in terms of the user, because they're not only getting real value like that token, but they're also getting exposure to these projects. Well, it's a win for those projects as well, because they're getting more eyes on what they're doing. So that's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, it's an interesting twist. Reminds me of, for example, the ISPO model that we have here in Cardano, where you're able to stake to a particular stake pool and earn a project's token without necessarily having to do anything, where this is maybe a little bit more involved, a little bit more immersive of an experience, where you're able to earn tokens, distribute tokens, and as you mentioned, it's a win-win, right? They bring their community to BananaClip, but then BananaClip also gives tokens back to whoever's jumping in and actually playing the games and hopefully enjoying themselves and really growing that ecosystem as well. So interesting perspective and interesting way to collaborate and distribute tokens for other ecosystems. Let's jump into the roadmap. I think this is actually updated very recently, because I didn't see this yesterday. So I do want to congratulate you guys, I think, on updating this piece here. But we've got the release of the white paper, the tokenomics. We've got some strategic launches, the token launch, a potential bridge. I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that. But what is sort of the focus for Q3, Q4 going into 2025?
Yeah, definitely. Great question. We're fully in on development right now. So Ben and I, we're product guys, and most of our team is super product focused. So with Blue Gravity, we're really hoping to create one of the best, if not the best, casual gaming platforms in all of Web3, and potentially in all of Web2 as well. So we're going to be fully in on platform development. Hopefully in July, we're going to have community testing for our OG members in Discord, and we're giving out those OG spots to pretty much anybody who's getting involved right now, coming to AMAs, asking questions, and kicking it in the Discord. So yeah, that community testing will take place in July, and then the scope after that is 3 to 4 months prior or following. We're planning on having our full platform release then, and then it's just on to onboarding studios, indie developers, and such. And I do want to state that our development process is going to be very involved. We want the community to be part of it. We're super into product, and we want to create something beautiful. And I think it's potentially a new era for Cardano in terms of gaming. We have a few competitors in different ecosystems, Polygon and different EVM chains, Solana, but I think we can really blow them out of the water if we do it right, and especially if we have our community behind us and they have input, because there's a lot of beautiful, smart minds out there that we've already heard from, and I know the more minds we have, the better. working on making something amazing. So yeah, we're excited for the future.
Yeah, I definitely would be as well. You mentioned the Cardano community. I think it's definitely by far one of the biggest and one of the strongest and one of the most supportive communities. I can attest to that from my particular YouTube channel here, coming in and having so many people support me along the way. I think the biggest thing you just have to do as a creator, right, is just provide value. Very similar, and I'm sure you guys probably attest to that as well. As you guys provide more value, you're going to notice more and more people reaching out to you, wanting to collaborate, and then you're also going to have some really passionate people, behind what you're doing. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for what you guys are doing, and this is obviously just at the very, very early stages. Now, you did mention competitors outside of Cardano. I think you mentioned Polygon, Solana, etc. As a quick follow-up, are there any plans to go cross-chain? But then also, again, for the non-technical viewers, could you maybe highlight again? We talked about the different use cases for the BANA token, right? The native governance token for the BananaClip platform. But for anybody who just isn't aware, are the actual games built on top of Cardano tech, or are those built using traditional services and it's just the other pieces that use the Cardano blockchain? So again, a two-part question. Are you guys planning on go multi-chain? And then if you can clarify how the actual games are built and what sort of tech stacks they use.
Yeah, definitely. So multi-chain question, that's great. We are planning on going multi-chain under the vision that this is kind of the next generation of casual games. It's the next generation platform where people can use economic models freely for their favorite short form games. So our TGE is on Cardano. That's going to be right around our public sale, May 7th to May 9th. And those pre-sale participants will get their tokens immediately. But 100% of the 1 billion token supply will be on Cardano to start. We have a few allocations, including marketing, our treasury, our play to earn, and those will find their way into other chains eventually. We're super excited about that because it opens up a whole other obviously different communities. And I think the fact that we're based in Cardano is super powerful. And this is the place to be in terms of long form vision, long-term stuff for the future. So that will be a burn on Cardano for whatever allocation we're using for those other chains. And BananaClip itself, the platform, will actually act as a cross-chain transfer mechanism. If somebody connects wallets from different chains, they'll be able to bring their Bana from one chain to another, on platform, off platform. And I think the cross-chain thing is going to be super exciting. Obviously, more details during development. And then the second question is our tech stack and what we're doing to build the games. So to start out, the games are going to be built in very well-known languages. We have tools like Unity. We want adding games and onboarding games to the platform to be seamless, just like Pokey or MiniClip, because we're obviously going from indie developers and large studios alike. So they're going to be Web 2 based games. The tokenomics and the economics are Web 3 based. But eventually down the line, we do want to incorporate as much as we can from the games on chain. So random number generation, data storage, stuff like that. It's an evolution, but it's not really necessary, and it's super resource intensive to start. And there's no real need to have the whole game on chain. It's super expensive and slow and stuff like that. So yeah, the important part, the economics on chain, the games themselves will not be, but of course it's an evolution. And down the line, I can definitely see with DPIN ramping up, putting as much as we can on chain. Obviously, that's the ideal, and that would be amazing to see.
Yeah, very, very solid response. And I think that was one of the hangups that I had early on when I was looking over the platform. Is my understanding, or at least my initial thoughts, were that the actual game and all of the history and all that stuff would be on chain. But as you mentioned, very expensive, very time consuming, data, and probably also ADA consuming, right? Depending on how big the game is and how interactive it is, et cetera. One question that I did have from somebody else who is a lot more technical than I am was the potential integration of something like Hydra, right, for some of the other pieces that are on chain. So I'd love to hear maybe what your guys' thoughts are surrounding, some of the scaling technology and how you guys potentially, could use, or even if you have any plans about, how to use those things moving forward. I don't want to put you on the spot. If you have a response now, that's great. If not, maybe just something for you to think about. But I do want to quickly go ahead and highlight that there as well. So we're at about the 20-minute or so mark. I'd love to give you guys an opportunity to potentially highlight anything that I may have missed. I know we've talked about, just the overall picture of BananaClip Studio. We talked a little bit about your guys' background, the Bana token sale, the utility and integration of the tokens, and potentially just recently going multi-chain. So anything else that you guys want to highlight to the community, potentially even how to join your community. I know you guys have an X account, you guys have a Discord. Just any sort of closing thoughts from the both of you guys.
Cool. Yeah. And the question about Hydra, we definitely want to incorporate, layer twos and high-speed solutions for microtransactions in games and stuff. Obviously, that's a little down the line, but great question, and it's cool to hear technical input like that. But yeah, super cool question. I think it's certainly in our future. And yeah, in terms of getting involved with the community, we're on Discord all the time. I go by Crush. My name is Max, but my Twitter name is Crush. This is Atticus here in the Discord. We're always kicking it. We're always having a good time. We love when people hop in there. All of our links are on our link tree on our Twitter, which I'm sure will be linked with this. We have a pre-sale coming up the 7th with Coinecta, the good guys over there. We've known them for a long time. I've worked with Marty on a bunch of stuff. So that's May 7th, 4 p.m. UTC to May 9th, 4 p.m. UTC. Huge allocation for the pre-sale. Everybody's going to get their tokens immediately. Check out our Twitter. Hop in the Discord. We got a ton of Medium articles coming out just about the details and the potential of what we're doing. We don't bite. So, if anybody wants to hit us up, ask us questions, we love it. We really want to be involved with the community on this development process because we do see this as a potential revolution in casual gaming. And it's really, it's in our minds, it's in our hearts, and we can see it happening. And obviously it takes a community who's behind the vision to make it happen. And a lot of you guys are already. So it's super fun. Yeah. But hop in, join if you want. We love any type of questions, anything. Happy to have you guys watching.
Yeah, no, thank you. And maybe offer Ben a second to speak if he's got any closing thoughts there as well.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to share what we got with you guys and keep it going. So looking forward to working with the community.
Yeah. Again, I think the Cardano community is always so willing to help and willing to engage. This again, I think is a new approach to gaming, especially in a space that has been evolving so quickly. I look at some of the other games that I follow, and none of them have taken the approach that you guys have taken. So I'm really interested to see how this pans out. And I'd love to follow up with you guys here in the next couple of months as things develop and as things progress with respect to your roadmap. So ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you to Max and Ben for joining me here as a part of today's video. As the gentleman mentioned, there is an upcoming token sale. If you guys want more details surrounding that, please go ahead and check out the description down below. Also go ahead and leave the links to their official website, their X, and their white paper or light paper down there as well. If you guys want to find out more about how their token economy works and just how their entire platform is going to be set up to work once it's fully functioning and available. That will do it for today's video. Again, thank you both guys. I appreciate you very much. For you, the viewer watching at home, if you found any portion of today's video to be helpful, I'd appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. It really does make a difference. It helps to get this content out to other members within the growing Cardano community. If you want more content like this, highlighting all of the builders here in the Cardano ecosystem, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions or comments from myself, Max, or Ben as it pertains to BananaClip and their games, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.